let me talk you through the ultimate guide to cloning yourself so that you can build a marketing engine that not only brings in the high value clients that you actually like working with, but that also allows you to do more work in your genius zone where you are energized and doing your highest value work, but also frees you up so that you can enjoy things in your life that are outside of work. For me, that's getting to the beach, going to the gym, spending time with my kids, and socializing. So let's dive into this, because as a business owner, as a consultant, a coach, a subject matter expert, we all know that you are the magic in your business. Like if you weren't there, things wouldn't be as good. All right, so the thing to keep in mind is that there's your highest value work and there's all the other stuff. Now, if business was all doing stuff in your genius zone where time flies, you're in the flow state, you just love it, you're doing your best work, clients are getting results, it's just fabulous, that would be a dream come true. But for many business owners and coaches and consultants, we get dragged into doing all the other things. And it can be a real drain on our energy, our time, our resources. And we often have this conflicting relationship with marketing, because if we commit to doing marketing, it means more homework, which it's stuff that we know we should do, but we don't necessarily want to do compared to stuff in our genius zone. So we're getting dragged away from that. But the other thing is, if we do marketing well and we get leads and stuff in, well, that's more stuff, more time that we need to allocate to responding to people, to calling people, all of that stuff. When you're time poor already, that can be a real tension point. And therefore, a lot of times people don't fully commit to the marketing and they plateau and end up in this sort of stagnated state. So, with that in mind, I want you to know that there is a path out. And I'm sure a lot of the time, like me, you've asked, if only I could clone myself. Now, the good news is you can clone yourself. It's a unique mechanism that I've developed where we can clone 3 aspects of you and use technology so that the real life version of you is free to do your high value work. Let me share my screen with you here. So, let's look at the first pillar. The first pillar is making sure that your profile, your online profile, reflects the real life authority and credentials that you have. Now, the digital version of you, this is the one that people see on LinkedIn, on your website, all over the internet, and that should be the first interaction that they have with you. They shouldn't be seeing you and hearing you and discovering you for the first time in real life. All right, they should know, like, and trust you before you ever show up on a Zoom call or a meeting. This is in an ideal world. So, first pillar is we need to have that digital profile reflective of your real life credentials and authority. The second pillar is your network. Your network of contacts, your business network. Now this I refer to as a virtual you, because you have so many existing connections. It's just a matter of organizing those people so that you can stay in contact with them and you can re-engage with them. The real life version of you only has 24 hours in a day, and there's only so many conversations that you can have in that time. Now, if you want to grow, if you want to have the impact that you know you can have, or expand the impact that you're already having, you really need to leverage the virtual version of you. And by that I mean things like messaging people, sending emails to people, reconnecting with people, actually inviting new people to connect with you, like the equivalent of putting your hand out and introducing yourself to somebody and say, I would like to meet you, let's have a conversation. All of those things need to happen on a regular basis, but it takes time and energy, and you've only got so many hours in a day. Your real life energy is best focused on your high value work, but this virtual stuff needs to happen. So we need a virtual version of you as well. And then the third pillar then is your activity. So you need to be basically putting out either content or messages to people, because they need to have spent, Google released these stats, they need to spend like 7 hours with you, have 11 touch points. So that is just going to take way too long if the real life version of you has to do all of those touch points and spend 7 hours with somebody before they become a client. Again, your real life you is way too valuable to be doing all of that stuff. So what that means is that we need to be leveraging AI you. So we need to get all of that knowledge in your head, your body of work, your IP, your methodology, and sort of train that all up into an AI brain that matches yours, so that you can draw on that expertise, your own expertise. You can draw on that so that you can actually be creating that content or creating those messages 100 times faster than if you had to do it all on your own. And of course, for the most part, if you're left to your own devices and you've got a blank Google Doc to type into, or a blank email that you're sending to somebody, very often it's much easier to do nothing at all. All right, so once we unlock digital you, virtual you, and AI you, what that does is it provides these three pillars that frees up real life you to focus on winning the high value clients, which is where the money comes in, to focus in the genius zone, and to unlock the freedom. Because of the 24 hours in a day, you've now got the digital version of you, the virtual version of you, and the AI version of you, taking a huge load or huge burden off your shoulders, so that you are freer and have more hours in a day to do the stuff that you love. All right. If this is resonating and you sort of see, yes, I can clone myself, and maybe you've come to this point in the past, like when you've come to this point now because in the past you've tried all the things like an intern or hiring an agency or developing SOPs or having staff or having other coaches or consultants deliver the work, but they just haven't, whatever you've tried just hasn't been able to replicate the magic. And that's because you are the magic. So we really need to replicate and clone you. All right. So now that we've got those three pillars, if this is resonating with you, let me talk you through the process that we need to follow, because it is something that everybody can do, and it's incredibly valuable. All right, so the first thing we need to do is focus on that digital profile. We really need to unpack all of your existing assets, and everything we do here is based on your existing stuff that you've got. All right, so you're not necessarily having to do all this extra work. We're just organizing and unpacking stuff you've got already. So with your digital profile, we need to unpack all of your body of work, IP, articles you've written, all of that, and your social media and online profiles to make sure that they reflect the real life credentials. And the second pillar with the virtual you, we need to look at your network and actually just organize those people into people that you know already. I call that low-hanging fruit. Well, people you know already who are also a good quality potential client. So identifying all those low-hanging fruit people, categorizing them if you need to, and then working out what to say to these people to re-engage with them. As well as that, we look at uncovering a Dream 1000. So what I mean by that is researching and looking up roughly people who fit your ideal buyer persona. So for example, you might work with accountants in Melbourne with 10 staff, and that's your sweet spot. If that's the case, we can look up all of those people, find that dream list, and then once we've got the list, work out how to nurture them. So nearly always that will uncover, that process there of organizing your existing network will uncover some good opportunities. And then thirdly, in terms of the AI what we need to use is ChatGPT so that we can create a custom GPT where we program into it your IP, your articles, the way you write, the way you speak, your book if you've got one, any lead magnets you've got, deliverables, all of those types of things, so it understands what you're about and it understands your clients and what pains they're going through and what aspirations that they have. And once you've got that, then you can actually create the content, create the messages, create all of your marketing and business assets incredibly fast. Now, when you do your digital profile, one of my clients simply had done this first step, which was giving their LinkedIn profile a makeover. And it was literally just by changing the headline to indicate and convey that she was a freelance copywriter and that she was open for business. And that alone, well, combined with actually messaging and reconnecting with people in her network, that alone was enough to pick up a 30 grand opportunity. So you don't need to wait till every single building block is complete to see results. It does and can happen really quite quickly. With your network, just organizing those contacts. One of my clients, Tim, he had a whole bunch of dormant connections that fit his ideal buyer persona, and he was able to send an email to those, like a personal email to those people, and a whole bunch of people replied. He had a new client within a week. So I'm sure there's low-hanging fruit in your network that you can tap into. It really does make a huge difference. So there are a whole bunch of ways to implement this. I've talked to you about it. The key is to take baby steps and to, the key is to take baby steps and take action. So digital you, virtual you, AI you, all working in symphony. I do this every day with clients. I work the process. It's step by step and it's methodical. I'm sure you could work it all out yourself if you've got the time and the inclination. If you want a hand with this, I would love to have a conversation and talk with you. There will be an opportunity to book a call or to send me a message in the description around the video here today. But basically, if it resonates, hit me up. I'll send you an overview of how we might work together, but it would be very exciting to do that. If you're wondering, the people that I personally work best with are business owners, coaches, consultants, subject matter experts, and advisors. They bring the magic to the business. Ideally, there's a couple of support staff to help with things like pressing the buttons, but you've got the experience, you've got the clientele, you've got the IP, you've got the network, you've got all the ingredients. You just need this recipe to do the right things in the right order and unpack these 3 pillars of cloning you. So hope that helps. My name's Adam Franklin, and it would be awesome to chat with you if this has resonated with you. Cheers.